Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
We need to understand that there are 3 cycles when it comes to sales, and we have the ability to choose. So I'm going to explain to you the process of success. How do we win the referral game? And not only that, but how do we win the game of life and business at the same time? You know, my mom recently passed away, and I had a chance to visit the cemetery afterwards. We put some flowers out, and I was looking around at the tombstones, and you know, none of the tombstones said anything like 2012 sales champion. None of them. Can you believe that? None of them said 2010 number 1 salesperson in the office. Can you believe that? I can't believe that. Or master closer. I didn't see any of them that said master closer. You know what I saw on the tombstones? I saw love. I saw generous and generosity. I saw appreciative. I saw appreciation. I saw we appreciate. The bottom line is, what if you could live your business in alignment with your life? What if you could do the same things at work that you do at home and everywhere else you go, and you could be congruent with everything you do? What if you could live that life? And I'm telling you right now, you can live that life and get more sales than ever before. So let's talk about sales for about 15 minutes. So the one thing I want to say is, you know, the traditional sale, and by the way, is the sales process working? The answer is no. The traditional way that the sales process has been taught is not working. You look at real estate. 4 out of every 5 realtors will be out of the business in 5 years. Think about that. 80% are going to be gone. And some people say those numbers are even lower. They're saying it's 3 or 4 years, not 5 years. But 80% of all realtors are out of the business in 5 years or less. Crazy. Here's the other thing. You might think, well, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. I'm not under those. Yeah, guess what? Business owners, according to the Small Business Administration, 4 out of every 5 businesses out of business in less than 5 years. Why is that? Why? I mean, I think that's sad. I mean, essentially, professionals, business owners are dropping out of the dream. They are committing professional suicide and no longer are in sales or in business because of one thing or another. And I'm telling you, I think I have the answer. Why is that? Well, I think the first reason is because of how sales is taught across the world and has been taught for hundreds of years. And that is the chase method. The chase method, you know it, right? Is you cold call, or you door knock, or a client expresses some interest, and what do? Right? You chase them. And you're taught to chase. And you chase them. Well, here's the thing. Have you ever been chased? When you are chased, what are your 2 options? Fight or flight. It's fight or flight. You're going to put up your dukes and fight, or 98% of the time, and for 98% of the people, you are going to flee. Well, it's the same way in sales. When you get a call, by the way, which now says scam likely, do you answer scam likely? You don't answer scam likely. But let's say you actually get a call and you answer it and it's a cold call. What do? You're trying to get off the phone. You're trying to wiggle out of it no matter how you can. So here's the thing. What most people do is they flee, but there are 2% of the people in the world who are actually looking for a fight. That's right. You call them, you're a salesperson, and I know this isn't you. This is the traditional salesperson. They call, that person was already looking for a fight. They start working together. Well, you know, one person was looking for a fight. The other person came into their world. What are they now in? They're in a fight. They're in a battle. The whole transaction, the whole thing is a battle. Well, how do both people feel at the end of a battle? They're both exhausted. Everybody's exhausted. Well, here's the thing, is if the client's exhausted and the professional is exhausted, the salesperson is exhausted, what do they both feel? They feel frustration. They feel like it wasn't a success. And here's the thing, do we want the referral? Are we going to get referrals from that person if they're exhausted? The answer is no. The other side of this too is, do we want their referrals? Because the people that are looking for a fight, they tend to find others who are looking for a fight. And you might think, well, I don't have any of those people, but I'm telling you right now, if you have friends on Facebook and you see notifications and you wrote a post and the notification says so-and-so commented on your post, and you go like this, oh, that person is, it's going to be controversial, argumentative, or you know what, it's just going to be something that's going to start a fight. Guess what? That person is in your network. They're out there. Now, we don't have to worry about the fights as much. The people that are more likely are the people like us that are more likely to flee. The salesperson comes, we flee. They door knock on our house, we act like we're not home. That whole group, we're part of that group because we just don't want to deal with it. So we flee. Well, what are salespeople in today's world taught to do when the person flees? We're taught to chase. Well, we get them on the phone. How's that conversation go? The conversation turns into, hey, listen, you know what? I, just sold a home at your next door neighbor's house. I sold it in 4 days and I sold it for over $10,000 over asking price. It was a great deal. Now's the time to sell. Let's sell. Lots of promises there, yes? But the client still says no. They flee. Well, what are we told to do? We're told to chase after them, nurture, follow up. We're chasing them. We finally get them on the phone again. What happens? Oh my gosh, you know what? I just sold your neighbor's house in 2 days for $20,000 over asking. And in fact, I'm the #1 sales agent in the entire office, which is actually true because he's the only agent in his little cubicle in the office. But here's the thing, is overpromise, overpromise, overpromise. The client still says no, and they flee. What are we taught to do as salespeople? We're taught to chase. Till finally, we get them again, and we get them on the phone or whatever it may be, and the traditional salesperson has been doing everything in the morning. They've been overcoming objections. They've been working on their closing skills. They've done everything, and now they do their sales job, and they're like, oh my gosh, you know what? You need to make it happen. Now's the time, and all the closing, the person's trying to wiggle out, but they can't. They're finally cornered, and they have to say yes. How does that client act the entire time they're working with that salesperson if they feel like they were cornered or tricked into working with them? They're looking to get out the whole time. And guess what? The traditional salesperson has given them the out because they've overpromised the entire way. Well, when you've overpromised, there's only one way to deliver, and that's under-deliver. When it's overpromised and there's under-delivery, how does the client feel? The client feels let down, frustrated. And how does the salesperson feel? They feel frustrated as well. Are frustrated clients going to refer you? No. So what do you got to do? You got to go and you need to continue to chase. And the chase cycle continues. So what does this look like? This is what I call the cycle of discontent. This is the chase cycle. So you're going to chase. No, you're not going to chase. The traditional way of sales is to chase. Chase, and then guess what? They're either going to fight you or flee from you. And guess what? You're told to chase. While you're chasing, you're overpromising all the way. And once again, I know this isn't you. This is your traditional salesperson. But I truly believe this is the reason that 4 out of every 5 realtors fail within the 5 years, and 4 out of every 5 businesses are out of business because they're like, oh my gosh, I either won't do this, can't do this, or it just doesn't feel right. And, well, guess what? We chase, we overpromise. There's only one way to deliver when we've overpromised, and that's an under-delivery. And guess what? When you under-deliver, everybody's frustrated. The frustrated client doesn't refer you. What do? You got to go chase some more, which is exhausting. This is the cycle of discontent. This is the chase cycle. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to sales. Aren't you thrilled? You're not clapping in your home office right now? Yeah, that's what sales has been like for decades. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we need to get to the point where we no longer have professionals committing professional suicide. I truly believe there's a better way. And guess what? It's simple. It's small. It's easy. It's the referral cycle. You get referrals, and you know what you do with referrals? You tell them the truth. You tell them the truth. Listen, there are going to be bumps in the road. There is going to be turbulence on the flight. There is going to be problems on the inspection. There is going to be delays. There's going to be failures. There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be problems. You tell them the truth. And I would suggest you tell them the worst case scenario or a nuclear case scenario. Tell them the worst of the worst. But you know what? You can do that with referrals. You can be honest with them. You can tell them the truth. And here's what happens when you tell the truth. Good things happen when you tell the truth. What happens when you tell the truth is, guess what? You are in a position to wow them, to over-deliver to the truth. The truth is, you know what? There might be 47 items on your inspection, and guess what? There might be, we might ask for 10 or 12 items from the seller. They might say 0. I just want you to know that. And then when there's only 20 items on the inspection and we ask for 15 and the seller actually does 8, our seller is thrilled. But here's the other part of this. What if the seller actually comes back and says, we're not going to do any repairs? Well, in most cases, buyer's remorse kicks in, buyer gets emotional, buyer says seller's not working with them, and it's a blow up and the deal cancels over a few small repairs. But you know what? Not my buyers, not your buyers, because we've prepared them with the truth that the seller may or may not do anything. And in fact, there's something in our business called as is. It happens often. My buyer, your buyer, because we've warned them, here's what they think. Well, Maher said that maybe they wouldn't do anything. So guess what? We have a decision to make. Will we take the home as is or not? 9 times out of 10, they take the home as is, or we go back for one more item. Hey, maybe, hey, how about if you do the refrigerator? How about if you do this? So the thing is tell them the truth, which is in turn under-promising. And then when you just do your job, you are actually wowing them and over-delivering. Well, what happens to wowed clients? They refer you more. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the referral cycle. How many of you would like more people on the referral cycle? A lot of you. What's interesting is we need to look at the chase cycle versus the attract cycle. What's interesting about this is look at how many steps the chase cycle has. And I didn't even put all of the touches that you're going to have to go through to chase down a potential client. I cut those out. But look how many steps are in the chase cycle, and look at how few steps are in the referral cycle. So fewer steps means fewer mistakes and also a much faster sales process, which leads to more sales, more money, more profit, more prosperity, and so on and so forth. So the nice thing about this is when you compare it, all arrows lead to the referral cycle. If you'd want more people on the referral cycle, you want more referrals, quit chasing and start attracting. So how do we attract people? How do we get more people on the referral cycle? I bet you want to know that. Here's the answer. The answer is the generosity cycle. Yes, it starts with generosity. You need to lead with generosity. Generosity is where you're going to put your energy. You have control over proactive generosity, right? Proactive gifts, proactive giving help, proactive help. And I'm going to share with you later the 7 gifts of generosity that we all have. And these are the ways that you can act with generosity. And I want you to know only one of them deals with money. Only one of them deals with you spending money or giving gifts to kick in reciprocity. So, generosity. First, we're going to give massive value first. What happens in turn when we are generous? What happens is reciprocity. Reciprocity means that, guess what? they're going to give back. Here's where we need to get better, is we need to focus the way that people reciprocate with us to referrals. When somebody says, how can I help you? The answer is referrals. When somebody says, hey, what can I do for you? The answer is referrals. Referrals is an answer, not a question. Referrals is the answer when somebody says, how can I help you, or what can I do for you? When people are looking to help us, we need to make sure they know the finest currency in our community is referrals. I'm going to repeat that. The finest currency, the currency that has the most value in this community, your tribe of trust, is referrals. That's the finest way to repay you. That's the finest way to repay each of the people within that community. Referrals is the core to your referral community. Now, what does referrals lead to? What kind of business would you have if you were getting all these referrals? Well, you would have a very profitable business because you're not spending any money on marketing and you're not spending any money on buying leads. You don't have to do that because you're getting all these referrals. Well, guess what? When you get a lot of referrals, your business is profitable. Well, your business is making money, which, just so you know, that's what your business is supposed to be doing. I know many of you are running unintentional nonprofits. I get it. No more of that. It's okay to be ridiculously profitable. It's okay. It's okay to be ridiculously profitable. It's okay to be ridiculously profitable. Bring it in, rake it in. You know what's going to happen with you when you get a lot of profit? When your business makes a lot of money, you're going to do a lot of good with it. You need to be making the money because you know what? It's not going to just stay there. You're going to do great things with it. You're going to make a difference with it. You're going to help a lot of people with it. Damn it. Profit. I'm telling you, earn it. Bring it in. It's okay. And then pay a bunch of taxes. Everybody's happy that way, right? Ugh. So here's the thing. Profitability. Your business is making a lot of money. Now what kicks in? Well, what's more important than your business making money? Whoa. A lot of times when I'm asking this with live audiences, they'll say things like freedom, choices, family, relationships, health, all of these great things. If you roll all of those words into one word, I truly believe that one word is prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, profitability leads to prosperity. Prosperity, watch this, leads to more generosity. But here's where the generosity cycle takes off. That generosity is not at the same level. That prosperity has led to higher and more powerful generosity, which leads to higher and more powerful reciprocity, which leads to higher and more powerful referrals, which leads to higher and more powerful profit, which leads to higher and more powerful prosperity. And guess what? Once again, it just builds on itself. This is more of a helix than it is a cycle. It's more of a spiral staircase that is getting more and more powerful as you go up than it is just simply a cycle. But here's the way we need to look at this. We need to look at this as a bicycle. Bicycle, get that? Bicycle. So we have two cycles here. So you've got the front cycle, you've got the front wheel of a bike. Well, what's interesting about the front wheel of a bike? The front wheel of the bike is there for balance, and it's there for guidance, and it holds the steering wheel, and guess what? It's always in front of your eyes. Keep referrals at the forefront of your business and your communication at all times. Let referrals be the guide for everything you do in business. Let referrals be the guide for everything you do in business. Keep it in front. But what's interesting about the front wheel as a difference to the back wheel? Well, the front wheel, there's no drive to it. Where do we put our energies? Well, guess what? That is the generosity cycle. That is the back wheel. If you want to look at like leading indicators and lagging indicators, referrals are a lagging indicator. You don't necessarily have a lot of control over the referrals you get, but you do have control over proactive generosity. Generosity is the back cycle. You need to put your energies on a daily basis, every single day. It's about generosity. You're going to put your love in action, and what happens? It drives, it energizes the back wheel, which keeps the front wheel going, and all of a sudden you've got this great business based on these two cycles, and you never have to chase again. Quit chasing. Start attracting. Every day, generosity cycle. Act with proactive generosity. Call and see how you can help. Call and see how you can make a difference. Call and get really good at this. There's this game. You want to talk about the referral game? Here's what the referral game is. Call and find like some tidbit about them that you could send them a small gift that would blow them away. You find out that they just got a pug. You go to Amazon, you get a book on pugs, and you send it to them out of the blue. Now that might even be an obvious choice, but look for these little things. It's just like, oh my God, they're going to love this because it's so important to them. And that's what the generosity generation is all about. In the ego era, it was all about, I'm the baddest, I'm the biggest, I'm the best, I'm number one, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? The consumer doesn't care anymore. The consumer doesn't care who's number one, the biggest, best. They don't care. Here's the thing. The consumer cares, do you care about me? And guess what? When it's all about them, when you're helping people, you're sending things, you're doing things that are in their best interest, you're doing things that they love, guess what? You get referrals. And they absolutely flood in like you've never seen before. It's like hitting the jackpot at the casino. So we need to act on Genergy. Genergy is just simply generosity, energy. When you are acting with generosity every single day, the energy you're putting out to the world comes back to you tenfold, and guess what? You get a ton of referrals. It's as easy as riding a bike. It really is. Once you're used to it, you get going. It's a lot of fun. I promise you, I'll see you on the next episode of Referrals Podcast. Thanks, everybody.